Once upon a time, in a land called Israel, there was a young shepherd named David. He was brave, kind, and loved taking care of his sheep. But one day, trouble came to the valley. The Philistines, a powerful enemy, marched into the land with their fierce leader, Goliath. Goliath was no ordinary man. He stood over 9 feet tall. His armor gleamed in the sunlight, and his voice boomed like thunder as he shouted challenges to the Israelite army.
Send me a champion to fight. And if he wins, we will serve you. But if I win, you will serve us.
Every morning and evening, Goliath called out, taunting the Israelites and instilling fear in their hearts. The soldiers were terrified, and no one dared to accept his challenge. Meanwhile, David was at home, happily tending his sheep. He loved his job and felt proud of being a shepherd. But one day, his father, Jesse, called him and said, "David, I need you to take some food to your brothers at the battlefield. They are fighting against the Philistines." David eagerly agreed, excited to see his brothers and learn more about the battle. He packed bread and cheese, then set off toward the battlefield, whistling a cheerful tune along the way. When David arrived at the battlefield, he was shocked to see the fear on the faces of the Israelite soldiers. They looked worn and defeated. As he made his way through the camp, he finally spotted his brothers. "What's happening?" David asked, concerned. His brothers sighed. "It's Goliath," said Eliab, his oldest brother. "No one is brave enough to fight him. He challenges us every day, and each time, we grow more afraid." David couldn't believe what he was hearing. Goliath's voice echoed like thunder across the valley, mocking them and calling them cowards. David felt a fire ignite in his heart. "I can fight him," he declared, stepping forward boldly. His brothers looked at him in disbelief. "You're just a boy. You can't fight a giant," Abinadab exclaimed. But David stood firm, his eyes shining with determination. "I may be young, but I have fought off lions and bears to protect my sheep. I can do this." David's bravery caught the attention of King Saul. He approached the king's tent, where Saul was listening to his men talk about the giant. "Your Majesty," David said, "I want to fight Goliath." King Saul looked at David, astonished. "You are just a boy," he replied. "Goliath has been a warrior his entire life. How can you possibly defeat him?" David took a deep breath and told the king about his experiences as a shepherd. "When a lion or a bear attacked my flock, I chased them down and saved my sheep. The same God who saved me from them will save me from this giant." King Saul, seeing the courage and faith in David's eyes, thought for a moment. "Very well," he said, "but you will need armor." King Saul tried to give David his armor, but it was too heavy and cumbersome for him. David struggled to walk in it and finally said, "I cannot wear this. I am not used to it. I'll go with what I know." He chose to use his sling and 5 smooth stones he found by a nearby stream. With a heart full of faith, he felt ready to face the giant. As David walked toward Goliath, the giant laughed loudly, his voice echoing across the valley. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" he roared. The Israelite soldiers watched in fear, worried for the brave boy. But David stood tall and answered boldly,
"You come at me with a sword and a spear, but I come in the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. Today, the Lord will deliver you into my hands."
David took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. He loaded one of the smooth stones into his sling and began to spin it around his head. With all his might, he let the stone fly through the air. It soared straight toward Goliath, striking him right in the forehead. The giant stumbled backward, his eyes wide with shock. With a loud thud, Goliath fell to the ground. The Israelite soldiers erupted in cheers, their fear replaced with joy and amazement. David had done what no one thought possible. He had defeated the mighty giant with just a stone in his faith. The Israelites rushed forward, filled with excitement. They celebrated David as their hero. David had shown everyone that bravery and faith could overcome even the greatest challenges. As the crowd cheered, David felt a mixture of joy and humility.
Thank you for watching. What did you learn from this story? Let's know in the comment section. Please subscribe, like and share.